Hello! Samuel Blay reporting live from New Haven, Connecticut. It is springtime. Let me show you. Outside, there is some greenness going on. La 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 la. And I see Clover's here and she's ready. And I'm gonna interview her about art and music because she's a fellow artist. And I am curious about people and their lives and their thoughts. So Clover, let me try to get you on. Ba-da-dum-bum. Hi, flowers. Miss you. Hi, Clover.
Hi.
How are ya?
Good.
Yay, you're looking good. Were you watering corn just now? Is that what you said?
I was watering corn. That's the problem with having friends who are farmers. They're just never there when you need them.
The plants are
Got the
more
fucking
important.
corn.
Yeah. Nice. So you're in Oregon. You're outside of Powers, Oregon. Is that right?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, let me do a little intro. Clover Joy Music is a wonderful songwriter in her own right. And we met at the Hawaii Songwriting Festival.
Still have that.
Yes, I do.
Those were
And
totally necessary, by the way.
oh yeah. I have them hanging in my room.
Yeah,
So yeah, you, Clover, have such a distinct voice, which I love,
Thank you.
and you write so beautifully. Thank you. And ooh,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. Try to find a safe place for that.
Okay.
And you taught me about trills
Mm-hmm. Hey,
because
Virgil.
that's
Hi,
one
Virgil.
of the things.
Sorry.
Hi, Virgil.
A friend
That's one
from
of the.
Hawaii.
Oh yay! Mystic Food Cart. That sounds like somewhere I want to eat.
Yeah. Sue Lang and Eden are had a Cinco de Mayo party.
Nice.
So.
Okay, Clover. So, first of all, do you identify as an artist?
Yeah. I guess so. Do you?
Yeah. Fully own that. I do. You know, and I'll just say for me, I think last year was the year that I really embraced that and was like, you know what, there's nothing else for me. Like I can do other stuff, but I can't do other stuff. Like this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering for you if there was a moment like that, if it was something that you just always know, no question, or what's the deal?
Yeah. It's weird. It's not something that I've maybe considered not doing it anymore like once before or something. And then it just wasn't an option. I don't know. Like ever since I was 11 or something. Just
11 is when you started
always
writing?
there. Before that, it was just sheep. I thought it was a waste of time because I had the sheep and I thought that they were all that I wanted. I had my whole life planned out with them. But
With sheep?
mhm.
Like farmer life?
Yeah, but I wouldn't eat the sheep. So they were my best friends, so as you can see.
Did you want to, this is a bunny trail, but did you want to do like shows with sheep shows? And
That never came up. No, not in my mind.
okay, so you wrote your first song at 11, is that right?
Mhm.
What was it about? Do you remember?
Okay, we were always always writing songs like under different like aliases when we were younger, me and my siblings. But the first serious song was about like rain or something. Rain, and
You're a
people
nature
keep
girl.
bringing up that song and like asking, "Why don't you sing that old song?" And I'm like, "I don't know." No.
That's awesome. You think you could play it if you wanted to?
It's possible. but
Okay, so
it
you
sounds
started
like a
playing.
funny goal.
Your parents, are they musicians?
No, my uncle is a guitarist. He's really good.
So so how did you figure out that you could play, that music was a thing? Were you around anybody, your uncle?
No, my sister started first, like a year before something.
Oh,
So she taught me.
okay. So you were kind of looking up to older sister, being like, "Oh, that's
Hmm.
cool."
And I keep
How
forgetting
did
my
you? Mm,
way older sister played too for a long time, so I don't really
nice.
know why.
Have any of them embraced it as a full-time thing?
Mm, no, I mean my sister, she kind of pursues it on the
Mm,
island, but not. I don't know. I don't really know how seriously she views it. Excuse me.
okay. Okay. So let me ask you this. Reactions from people. So when you first started playing, you started doing music, it was cool. People were reacting and they, one way or another. How did that affect you, if at all?
I think I got over being nervous after a while,
Mm.
but at the beginning, you're so scared, right? And even in front of family. Sometimes especially in front of family, because you know these people care. We missed you too, Virgil. You know, like these people care that you about the music as opposed to just like sitting in the back of a room where people are buying produce and stuff. So
Which is mostly where you're playing now.
yeah, farmers market, coffee shop, band and brewing company. People people pay pretty close attention, and I don't really get nervous anymore, so that's not an
Is
issue.
it
But
better for you? Do you feel better when they are paying attention than when they're not?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right.
nice. Yeah,
I
talk to
feel the same.
people.
Okay, but my question about the early days is because when I started out doing stuff, like when I was a kid, I would choreograph my friends and like create dances for us all to
Yeah.
do and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And when people reacted to it in a good way, being like, "Oh, that's amazing and that's good," I would shut down. I would
Hmm.
just like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm not doing that anymore." I
Hmm.
would get really scared. And
Hmm.
so I was wondering for you if it had the opposite effect, because I hear for some people that when they start out and they get attention, it spurs them on, and they're like stoked on it. For me, it was always the opposite,
I know what you mean. I get both
both sides.
at the same time. Like sometimes when someone gives me a compliment, I'm like, I gotta get out of here. But yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, that's nice, but or like if somebody gives you a compliment, you appreciate it, but then you want to be out of there as soon as possible because you
Yeah,
don't want people to look at you.
yeah. Okay,
When you,
so what about nowadays when
Lauren,
you're
I miss you so much,
when,
Lauren. Sorry.
hi Lauren Canton. So when you are playing today,
Hmm.
and what is your ideal reaction from people, or like what do you want to accomplish when you're playing out?
I guess just like conversations afterward,
Mm,
and like it's weird. Meadow and I often talk about how we're way more into love you, Lauren. Um, people's energies than we used to be.
mm,
So like more aware of it, and you're in a crowded place, and just kind of subconsciously like searching for people who are maybe on the same frequency, and you'll see someone and you're
interesting.
like, oh God, I have to meet you. And so just to be able to connect with people like that is, and like music is a means to it. Like people feel more comfortable. Like,
Yes, yes.
do you get that too?
That's that's exactly what it is. It's like it's we're searching for connection with people, right? That's
Hmm.
what art. That's part of what art is to me.
Hmm.
Which leads me to a bigger question: what do you want to accomplish with your art in general, like on a larger scale?
Mm, I'd like to be able to be in a position where money is not a hurdle in the road to the music I want to make. So it's not like you want to make money, like that's the motivator or anything. It's just like when you don't have a lot, it restricts you in what you can do with the instruments. Like right now, I'm really lucky to to have this band and brewing company job, so that I can get my music produced, like one song at a time.
Yeah.
Still like slowly, but yeah. So I want to be able to make albums and do shows around.
Okay, so that's a practical kind of an inward reason. But what about, say, your songs are playing out there, people are listening to them. What if anything, do you think you'd like that effect to be on people?
So before anything else, I call myself environmentalist.
Okay.
I've been that way since I was like 10 or 11, because my family always had books around so that we could read them if we wanted to and inform ourselves. And today my dad said something. It was like, take responsibility for the space that you take up on this earth. I'm like, that's a cool quote. I'm gonna remember that. And
yeah.
So like the songs that I write are never about strictly personal things. They're usually trying to send another message, and I want to be able to help in that way. So
that is so awesome. So you want to move people towards action when it comes to the environment. And
yeah, and I also would consider myself Antifa. I'm not breaking windows.
Educate me. What does that mean?
Okay. At the Charlottesville rally, the counter-protesters were Antifa. So the non-fuck-ups were Antifa. Some of them were breaking windows, not so good, because pacifism, but I agree with why they were doing it.
Yeah.
Because they're anti-fascists. So.
Oh, okay. Antifa. Sweet. Okay. So, back to connection for a second. I just love how you said that. You're putting your music out there, you're out there playing, you're, like the force field of your energy is spreading out with your music, because that's kind of what happens. And so you're trying to find people that are on the same frequency, on the same level that you are at that moment, or that are drawn to that. And then, bam, they come up to you, you have a conversation. What are some of the coolest connections you've made through music, and maybe a story or two about, like something that someone told you, or just a connection that happened there?
Okay, you are one.
Yeah!
That was cool.
I set you up for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, your friends are so cute. Look at them sending hearts and stuff.
Just a minute. That's nice. Yeah, I'm getting bloodhounds redone. Okay, my friend Ulysses.
Hell yeah.
My friend Ulysses was so cool. And I should tell them to talk to you at some point, because they're so inspiring.
Okay.
And then, it's really cool when people come up, kids, gather around, start, amassing together and, watching, and that's cool. Cool to see. Alaria. Oh, the, lava. I don't think any of you are
Oh, that's
nearby.
true. Are they in Pune?
Oh, Alaria is in Washington.
Okay.
But Lauren is in Kapa'au or Hawaii. Am I getting this right?
Where are you, and are you safe from the lava? This is what we want to know. Hawaii is in flames right now. Pune. I lived there for 9 months in a treehouse in Pahoa. And
I love Pahoa.
I know, right? Talk about a place with with like tangible energy is
Mm-hmm.
Pahoa.
Yeah.
So Clover, who have been some of your biggest inspiration? Oh, they are safe. Praise. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Music-wise?
Yeah. Well, when you think of your life as an artist moving forward and what you want to accomplish, you mentioned like environmentalism, you making a change, making connections, but just in general, in general.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Here's this question again. I feel like I should answer it. The song Bloodhounds is
Okay,
about
let's do that.
um, family stuff that came up. And it was it was a good time in life. I was 19 and I just felt like sticking up for people in that song. But as I was finishing up, um, the Standing Rock thing happened. And then
Mm.
someone was like, hey, um, this song sounds like it's about Standing Rock in the Mauna in Hawaii. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's so cool. So it's about a lot of things. And I think songs should reflect different people's experiences, not just your own. So,
That's awesome. That's really interesting. So it started with a personal thing and a family affair, and it
mhm.
grew to like a reflection of what was happening with protests.
Yeah, and I realized what was going on with my family was like a microcosm. It totally reflected everything else that was going on in the world at that time, and I was like, this is so weird, you know? So,
I agree with Virgil that you're an angel. It
thanks, guys.
is a beautiful song. So if you're listening and you don't know Clover's music, go to bandcamp.com. Find Clover. What's your handle?
Overjoy
Clover Joy?
Music? Yeah.
Clover Joy Music. And her song
Mm-hmm.
Bloodhounds is on there. But also stay tuned because she will soon be producing a new version of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, biggest inspirations, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, anyone that I feel has energy outside the traditional gender roles,
Hmm.
they just really inspire me. Like, I feel like I can connect with them. So, yeah.
Okay, fun. Hi, K-Bird. So I was just sharing a story about how I was misgendered
Mhm.
recently a few times. And do you get that?
No, because at this time, I identify with female.
Hmm.
So, what is your story?
No, I mean, I get people. This one was weird because they came up right out of the blue and just asked me, like, "Oh, are you a boy or a girl?"
That's weird.
Or
Like,
trans of some sort.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was weird. Like, I wasn't offended that they would think that. Sometimes I look at people and I'm like, huh, I wonder what they identify as, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't come up with them and lead with that. It just feels so
No.
intrusive.
Like, you can ask someone's pronouns, but, like, don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, from what I've heard, like, I don't know if that's okay with people,
I
with
know.
individuals.
I always feel so bad when I use a certain pronoun and then I realize, ooh, maybe that's not the right one.
Yeah.
You know? Shh.
I'm just using they more and more. It feels better to me.
Okay, so as far as artists, you're saying you're drawn to people who are kind of breaking the norm when it comes to gender roles and
Mm-hmm.
have an energy that's not particularly here or there, or
Mm-hmm.
there's a intersection there somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay, let me
not
recommend
necessarily that they
something.
don't. Hmm?
Uh, I was just going to recommend someone for you, which is an artist out of Brooklyn. Her name is Torres.
Okay. I think I've
So
heard of them.
you should check her out because she is very, she's female, but she has a very masculine energy, and it comes out in her music, and
Mm-hmm.
it's wonderful. I love her.
Okay. I will.
Yay. Okay, let me see what I have for more questions for you. Okay, so you identify as an artist. It's your thing. You've owned it. What do you think? How do you think the world views people who do that? who embrace artistry and who just are like, I'm an artist, this is why I'm here, this is what I'm doing. What has been your experience of reactions from people, either positive or negative, towards that?
I've never gotten any negativity, but like I'm not gonna come up to someone and say like, "Hi, I'm Clover. I'm an artist." So it's not like something that comes up a whole lot.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like they'll find out, oh, you're a musician. That's cool, and then move on. But
Yeah.
you know,
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, come to think of it, I don't think I personally have experienced much like, why are you doing that? Like, is that a valid thing? But I do feel like out there in this society, there's a little bit of a like, so I felt hesitant. I think that the day that I come out, for example, on Facebook and go like, yo, I'm doing music and this is my thing and this is what I'm going to do, that'll be the biggest coming out I'll probably ever have. Even though everyone's probably going to be like, duh, Sam, we know that this is why you're here. But for me, it's like, oh, there's been an inner struggle of like, is this valid? But it's ridiculous because it's so valid. It's so valid. Like music has legitimately saved my life,
yeah.
and so for me, I would say my purpose, as far as I can define it right now, is to keep people alive through music, because I've experienced firsthand how that can happen, and there's music that has kept me alive, and so that's what I want to do. But I do feel this just ominous negativity, trying to suppress me. But maybe it's just something
Yeah,
I need to get over.
like
What do you think?
yeah, like pressure, like you should be being more successful or like getting a real career, kind of stuff like that. Yeah, okay, I've gotten that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do
Um,
you deal with that inside of you? How does?
I listen to music,
Hey,
just
that's
like with any
awesome.
problem. What music has like you feel like carried you to a different headspace from one that was not great?
I think it's okay. So first of all, when I was young, like 14, 13, I don't know, I got into Evanescence. Do you remember Evanescence?
No.
Bring me to life, wake me up inside, wake
Yeah.
me up inside. It's goth metal, like it was
Mhm.
called new metal at the time. It's just, oh my gosh. Okay, so I loved them so much. But what it did for me there for the first time, I think, was someone expressing what I felt, which was the pits of depression and all this
Mhm.
darkness, and somehow some hope there still. So, but that's really all it is. I think if you share something that's true to you, someone out there is going to be like, oh, that's true for me too. And when that
Yeah.
happens, that is enough to keep you alive. It's like, oh, there's
Mhm.
someone else there who feels the way I do, because we all
Yeah.
have this lie in our head that we're the only ones that experience certain things,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah, it's
So I
true.
think that was the first band that did that for me.
Yeah. And do you ever get this thing where you're listening to a song and you're like, this talks about my experience so well. If everybody else knew the song, they would know me so much better.
Yes,
I,
that's why I make people playlists. I'm like, do you want
uh,
to get to know me? Here's some music.
mhm. Your playlist is like a lot of, it reminds me of ecstatic dance music, which
Mm,
is more about like creating like a realm of energy rather than about the song itself. It's more just like creating an
yeah,
atmosphere.
an
Yeah.
atmosphere. Yeah,
Mhm.
which I love and I wish I could do more of.
Yeah,
But
me too. You
but
create
I
an
also,
atmosphere. You are an atmosphere. That's what's so weird and good.
yeah, you tell me about it. I mean, not to live with me. I know you feel the same thing. It's like because you've shared with me that you've had a journey of like coming to terms with your own energy, like and embracing yourself in that way.
Hmm.
Can you talk a little more about that? Because I know you've had a shift in past months where you feels to me that you're so much more comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, I feel better. Yeah, I guess this side that I was just kind of trying to shove down for a while, and just kind of be this female figure that I felt like was the most accepted and was going to. And of course, when you try to do that, you end up around people who bring you down and end up hurting your feelings, and then you have like you lose a lot of respect for yourself.
I'm sorry, so you're talking about conforming. When you've tried to conform to a certain image or a certain thing, you've invited sort of negativity from people, you feel like?
Yeah. And like I look back at old pictures of myself, and I'm assuming there will be a time when I can feel comfortable looking at them and be like, okay, that was me back then, and I'm okay with it. But now I just feel like I remember being that person. I just feel totally different. I don't know. It's probably just a 22-year-old problem.
Okay.
But
so you don't know if, so there wasn't exactly an event or something very distinctive. It was just a gradual sort of shift for you where you become more comfortable.
I think it was moving to Power, some of it. I was worried like, oh God, I'm moving to this place. Are people going to be really judgmental? And is it going to change me in a bad way? But I think after leaving Hawaii, first of all, I met a lot of inspirational people in Hawaii, so they made me feel like, okay, I can do things now. And with coming to Oregon, I was like, hey, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody. Why don't I just do what I want? Because nobody's going to call me out on it, and if they do, I don't care, because I don't know any of them. So
it's a brand new start.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Like being in Hawaii helped, and leaving Hawaii helped in the same way. So
Oi, lindo. Jonathan, you gotta come on here and talk to me sometime, because you're a film buff and you're an artist at heart, and I want to hear your thoughts too. But Clover, this is so fun for me. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Yay,
and I feel like I haven't asked you enough questions in life. So
okay. Well, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
but let's. I mean, if you have one now, we can talk about that. I still have questions on my list too. We could keep going. I'm down.
Okay. How does life change in like between age 22 and 26? Let's just be really
Oh my God, 22 and 26. Okay, first of all, I was suicidal for the better part of my teens and early 20s. So, darkness, really bad. And that is something for a few years now that I felt like is gone. I'm like, oh man, I just don't go there anymore. I just don't. And it's not like I still don't got to be careful. Like, there's still things that I intentionally fight away from my brain because I know where they lead. Like, oh, this can get dark real quick. So I'm just like, no. But I feel like, it's like I'm on a new ground. I'm on a new foundation. And so I will never go that low again.
Yeah.
And actually part of what motivates and fuels my sense of purpose, which I said, like, to keep people alive through music, have been the artists that I've looked up to and admired that have killed themselves.
Yeah.
Starting with Amy Winehouse, because, geez, what a wonderful, wonderful human. With such a powerful energy to her. And so she died, and I mean, we all know that's where she was going, but it was still incredibly tragic. It's like, come on, like, the world loves you, but you can't love yourself enough to fight for yourself. So, and suicide is a really controversial topic, because people treat it like a disease, which I think, yes, there's validity to that, mental illness, but but people, I personally get a little up in arms or a little like when it's portrayed as something that is in no way a choice.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm still here. Ooh, did you hear my jaw pop? Um, and that's no credit to me, really, other than, yeah, I fight and I fight to stay here. But I think when you rule out choice, then the person who's struggling and hears that goes like, oh, well, happened to them. It's going to happen to me, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That
And then
makes a lot of
Chester
sense.
Bennington,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then the most recent one was Chester from Linkin Park. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, you have like millions of people looking up to you that
Mm-hmm.
love you and like how could you do that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jobs. And so have you guys seen 13 Reasons Why
No.
on Netflix?
No.
Okay, so it's this show, just real quick, it's a show
I've
about
heard of it
suicide.
a
Like,
lot. Yeah.
did you?
Mm-hmm.
So the girl kills herself and then she leaves tapes on why it's everybody else's fault, basically. I
Mm-hmm.
watched the whole thing. Um, for me, it ended up doing what the media does a lot, which for me, and this is, I'm talking about it because it's one of my fuels to keep going and to keep making music, is it was portrayed as something glamorous and
Hi,
romantic,
Mom.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Right.
Yes, your mom's on.
My mom. This is Samuel.
Hi, I'm
They're the
Seb. Nice to
greatest.
meet you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It sounded weird to me, like the reviews.
it was just like the character who actually kills themselves and another one, uh, they're the coolest characters on the show. They're the ones that everybody wants to be. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was romanticized.
Mm-hmm.
And that pisses me off. And that makes me want to keep going and want to tell people like, no, you got a choice. Stay the fuck alive,
Yeah.
pardon my French.
Uh-huh.
But it gets dark for everybody. It's hard for everybody. We're in this together. What keeps you alive is connection. And so I think that's why
Yeah.
it's important that we do what we do, because to share our truth with people so
Yeah.
that they can see they're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Something that Lana Del Rey has talked about in interviews is some of her older songs were really dark.
Mm,
And back then they didn't feel like they had like a responsibility to tell a certain narrative. They were just saying how it was. Like, he hit me and it felt like a kiss. Maybe they weren't
mm-hmm,
in very good relationships back then.
mm,
Um, but now they feel more of a responsibility to be positive. But I know that like listening to them back when I was like a year ago, it was not the best time.
mm.
I know it like made me feel more comfortable. Like maybe being unhappy is not the worst thing ever. Maybe you can still find beauty in those times, but get the
Yeah.
fuck out of it as soon as you can. Don't like lie in your bed playing Temple Run all day.
Temple Run.
Ah,
It's true.
but it
Yeah.
like demystified a lot of things, and now I get bored easily. So if I'm like too down for too long periods, I'm just like, I gotta knock this off. This is just ridiculous. This is getting boring.
Does writing music help you get out of that?
Yeah, because I think it brings out my better self. Who
Mm.
won't like be shitty and
Have you ever felt, I know a lot of people feel that they can only write when they're dark.
yeah, I know.
When
Yeah,
do,
some
do,
people.
is that something for you or not?
Not really.
You write when you're happy too?
Like, yeah, and I know that in times when I'm like inspired and going in a good direction, I can write songs. Otherwise, I can't do it. And I shouldn't say can't because I should work on it more. But like coming here to Oregon was so weird because the energy around this place is strange. And
Mm.
like I see the hilltops. The hilltops are like a little bit bald because there's logging going on. and that was the creepiest thing ever to me. And in the bedroom I was staying in, there was this saw, this huge saw, like right above where I was going to sleep, and it had the worst scene painted on it. And I thought the house was haunted. All these things, like, collected, and to this really weird energy that was kind of cool. And I envisioned myself walking out to my cabin with this beat playing in the background and writing a song that had the same energy that I felt. And so I went out and I did it, and now I'm like, I listened to the song, and the melody is a little unsettling because of the energy. So I'm happy with it. So
did it change anything though? So you felt this ominous darkness and weirdness when you expressed it in some way or caught onto it. Did it change how you felt about it?
Maybe made me a little more appreciative about it, because it's good energy. The land here is such a weird thing. Like, you can, in Hawaii, it felt really safe to me. Our farm was like nothing bad could ever happen, you know.
Okay.
So coming to this place, it was, half of it was probably just me, like in a new place, not knowing.
But it shook you up a little bit.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So.
Okay, Clover, let's go for maybe our last question.
Okay.
So this doesn't go too long. But, and you might have already answered this, so it might not be the best question. But I hear a lot of people, and I think it's definitely something I dealt with, and I've shared with you already, feeling like, is this valid what I'm doing, you know? But, so it's called imposter syndrome, where a lot of artists just feel like they're a fake somehow, that they're faking it, and that people are going to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel that? Have you experienced that, and how do you deal with it, and what's that like for you?
Experience it in all kinds of situations. Right now, before moving here, oh my god. Like, if I was like the woman in a relationship, I was like, son of a bitch, they're gonna find out, you know. What they're going to find out, I don't know, but now I get that because maybe I'm not a very authentic person. I'm just imitating people who are authentic people, and I'm just a ridiculous parody of people who actually have good energy. I don't know if you get that.
Sorry, you said that the lie that you hear is that you're a ridiculous parody of people who actually have good energy.
It's Johnny.
You're breaking up.
Oh, sorry. Not right now, honey. Thanks.
Okay.
Hello, we're almost done.
Okay. Yeah, so I deal with that. Probably not as bad as I think it is, but
okay. Here's the thing, though, is you can't feel your own energy.
Yeah.
I mean, like you somehow can, like through meditation or whatever, you can kind of, you know, connect to yourself, but you can't really feel what it feels like to meet you from outside of you, because you're always inside of you. Right?
Yeah.
So what do you do to combat that when it happens?
Think about it a little, I guess. I'm working on meditating. Yeah. I just don't have like a great solution to that. But I know I care about certain things. I have to remember those things too. I care about a lot of things. And yeah.
Does it help you when people tell you that that's not true? Because I can tell you that's not true because I've met you.
That's nice.
I mean, I definitely felt the struggle that you have with yourself to like own it. And I've seen you in these past months just totally make leaps and bounds towards owning it and accepting yourself. But I never got that you were fake, or that I might have got that you felt that way about yourself, but never that it was true.
That's nice. It helps, yeah. And Meadow says things like, yeah, I like you better now. And then she'll grab my hair and be really rough. Did you ever notice that people feel the need to touch your hair all the time when it's short?
People feel the need to
touch your hair all the time when it's short.
When it's short.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I am working on that situation.
Yay. It's interesting to me how... Yeah, go ahead.
I am very impressed with the people that I know now. Like I don't feel like I deserve to be friends with most of them. Like, least of all you. Like, why the fuck am I friends with someone like you? But, besides which, it's a combination of, like, thinking back to you guys and having it be an inspiring thing, and thinking back on it, having it be like, I'm such a fucker. 'Cause, you think how cool they are. And you don't think you could ever reach that level of
Well, let me
humanity.
share with you one of my favorite quotes that keeps me going, because we all deal with that comparison and external projections. Here it is. Comparison is the root of inferiority. Basically, if there's no comparison, nobody's inferior to anybody. So just let's not do that. Let's not do that. It drives me nuts. I look at you and I look at Tanner and I see this boldness of like you getting out there and playing music to people who don't care, and I'm like, why can't I have that? Why can't I do that? And so, but if I get stuck there, I'll never create. I'll never move on. I have my own burdens that I need to. My own burdens of fear that I need to break before I can get there. And so maybe you're ahead of me in some different ways. Maybe I'm ahead of you in different ways.
Yeah, because you're really great at live performances. So,
dude, were you there at the end of Hawaii Songwriting Festival when I went up on open mic?
I was not. No.
You were not. I bombed so hard. I couldn't get through one song. It was so embarrassing, but like an amazing experience at the same time. I felt like I was naked in front of everybody, and I cherish it. I think it was wonderful. And it's like all these top producers, songwriter people, and there I am just like, I couldn't play.
Yeah.
So, but I could have let that destroy me and fuel my fear, but I'm letting it, I'm owning my flaws and being like, you know what? Yeah, I'll get there. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yay, Clover. Dude, this was so much more fun than I could have anticipated. And I think we touched on some really cool things. And I always love talking to you. So let's do it again. But I'll shut this down now because it'll be too long otherwise.
Yeah. I have to find some way to use all this energy that I just amassed from this black coffee. Oh shit, it was all black. Usually I have milk in it. This is gonna be interesting for my family.
You could go make some art.
Huh? Yes.
You could go write some music.
Yes, focus.
I might have to do the same. Okay, Close. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm trying to do this every week. Mwah. Bye.